Hola, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Señorita Spanish and I am here to help you to prepare for your CSEC Spanish exam. I have many videos available here on my channel, from oral questions to paper 1 to paper 2, so go ahead and check those out to ensure that you are equally equipped and prepared to sit this exam. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. Click that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post a new video. Like this video and share it with all your friends. And don't forget to leave a sweet comment below because I will respond to you. To all my regular viewers, it's so great to have you again. And thank you so much for all the support so far. Let's jump right into this video. We'll be tackling another reading comprehension past paper question, and I'll be here to gear you up by providing all the necessary vocabulary and tips that you will need to tackle this question and more. Entonces, vamos a comenzar. Leandro's good fortune. Leandro, miembro del equipo de natación del Colegio Marín, decidió nadar en el mar a las 5:30 de la mañana diariamente para prepararse para las competencias intercolegiales y ganar medallas para su escuela. La tercera mañana, después de nadar, Leandro tomó su toalla que había dejado en el tronco de un árbol y vio un billete de $20 ahí. Es mi día de suerte, pensó, y muy alegre lo cogió. Al día siguiente ocurrió lo mismo y Leandro, aunque intrigado, estaba feliz. Al otro día, Leandro vio en la playa a la señora Morena, su vecina, enojadísima, pidiéndole al pescador los pescados por los que había pagado. El pescador le recordó el acuerdo que habían hecho. Recuerde, nosotros acordamos que yo dejaría una docena de pescados cada vez que yo encontrara $20 en el tronco de ese árbol. Pero como no vi el dinero los 2 últimos días, no le dejé nada. Ella respondió: mentiroso, ladrón, deme mis pescados o mi dinero. Al oír esto, Leandro, sintiéndose culpable, dio media vuelta y canceló su entrenamiento ese día. Now let's read the passage again in English, but this requires good vocabulary, so let's build our vocabulary as we go along. I have placed some key vocabulary in blue, as well as some verbs that I would like to highlight in yellow. Vamos a leer. Leandro, member of the swimming team of Marin High School, decided to swim in the sea at 5:30 a.m. daily in order to prepare himself for the intercollegiate or the interschool competitions and to win medals for his school. The third morning after swimming, Leandro took his towel that he had left at the trunk of a tree and saw a $20 bill there. It's my lucky day, he thought, and very happily or gladly took it up. The following day, the same thing occurred or happened, and Leandro, although intrigued, was happy. The next day, Leandro saw on the beach Señora Moreno, his neighbor, extremely angry, asking the fisherman for the fish or the fishes for which she had paid. The fisherman remembered the agreement that they had made. Remember, we agreed that I would leave a dozen fish each time that I saw $20 at the trunk of that tree. But as I didn't see the money the last 2 days, I left nothing. She responded, "Liar, thief, give me my fish or my money." Upon hearing this, Leandro, feeling guilty, turned around and canceled his training that day. Now that we have read and understood the passage, it is time to answer the questions. Question A. Who is Leandro? Now it's very important for us to pay close attention to the marks allotted for each question. It is therefore not enough for you to say Leandro is a member of the swim team. You want to ensure that you put everything in the sentence so that you can maximize on your points. So, the response I gave was Leandro is a member of the swimming team of the Marine High School. If we were to go back to the passage, what we need to do is find the part that has the answer, and it says it in the first line. Leandro, a member of the swim team of the Marine High School. So I decided to extract all of this section for the answer. Question B. Why is Leandro training? Another 2-mark question. Leandro is training to prepare himself for the inter-school competitions and to win medals for his school. As you can see, we are basically translating word for word. He is practicing in order to prepare himself for the inter-school competitions and to win medals for his school. For the reading comprehension, it is not a good idea to put synonyms or to put what you think is happening. You have to literally extract everything that is happening and taking place in the dialogue word for word to maximize on your marks. This is not an English exam. They are testing whether or not you know the Spanish vocabulary. And so you have to write it word for word so as to let them know, them being the examiners, the fact that you know the words. Question C. What happened on the third day when he went to get his towel? He saw a $20 bill at the trunk of the tree where he had left his towel. So another 2 marks. The question had asked about the third day. So my tip to you is to find the part in the passage that mentions something about the third day. And this is it right here, the third morning. So we have to find or locate the part in the paragraph that points us to our answer. So it asks what happened on the third day. When he took up his towel, he saw the $20 bill in its place. And so that's the answer. You would notice that I placed the exact words there. At the trunk of the tree was a very important part of the scenario. And so you have to ensure that you place those words there as well. Question D says, how did Leandro react when the same thing happened again? Once again, we're looking for clues where in the passage said anything about it happening again. Let's go and look for it. The following day, the same thing occurred. So we have to locate. The questions are literally pointing us in the direction of the answers. Alright, so somewhere in the passage, there will be a similar word or phrase that points us to the answer. Alright, so this is the line where we will find this response. So what happened was, although he was intrigued, he was happy. Now it asks, how did he react? And so we need these 2 emotions. Although he was intrigued, he was happy. And so maybe it's 1 mark for each. Or maybe there's a mark for although, so we need to extract that as well. Question E, who is Mrs. Moreno? And that's his neighbor. Now, if we go back to the passage, we're going to extract the word vecina, and vecina means neighbor. So it's a 1 mark question. Simple. Ensure that you know that word for the future. Question F, how was Mrs. Moreno feeling? And it's another 1 mark question. However, it's a very important word. Now, the answer that I chose was very angry. And the word for angry or mad can also be accepted is enojado. But whenever we have ísima or ísimo connected to the word, it changes its meaning to the extreme form of the word. So enojadísima means very or extremely angry and not just angry. So it's important that we note that. We can add ísima if you're a girl and ísimo if you're a male to any adjective, and it can become the extreme version of it. So cansadísima would be very tired, for example. Question G. What did Mrs. Moreno ask the fisherman? And this is another 2-mark question. She asked him for the fishes for which she had paid. Now, if we don't know the word to ask for, we could more than likely miss this response. Okay, so pedir, as we highlighted before, it means to ask for. So what did she ask him for? She asked the fisherman for the fish or the fishes for which she had paid. So that's our response. Question H. What agreement did Mrs. Moreno have with the fisherman? And it's a 3-mark question. So we want to ensure that we extract the entire agreement word for word. Now, once again, let's go and locate a word in the passage that means agreement, because that is where we will find our answer. Okay, so the word for agreement is el acuerdo. The fisherman remembered the agreement. So this is our answer right here. Remember, we had agreed, here's the word again, as a verb this time, that I would leave a dozen fish each time that I found $20 at the trunk of that tree. So that is the agreement. And we need to extract it word for word. So let's see what I put. The agreement was that the fisherman would leave a dozen fishes each time he found $20 at the trunk of the tree. There we go. The next question. What accusation did Mrs. Moreno make against the fisherman? And it's 2 marks. She called him a liar and a thief. So her initial response to him was to yell at him, and she called him names. And so those were the accusations, because it wasn't true if we understand the entirety of the story, right? So she responded, liar, thief. So these 2 words are our responses. So the final question is usually an explanation question or an opinion question, where we have to link everything that happened together to explain why we think or have the opinions that we do. So the question says, explain why Leandro reacted in the way that he did. Now, this question is usually a 3-mark question, and it involves your answer as well as evidence from the passage. So, why did Leandro react in the way that he did? The first thing we need to do is state how he reacted and then explain it. So, Leandro turned around and walked away. That is his reaction. Okay? The passage literally said he turned around, and we'll go to that soon. Now, we're going to now use what is said in the passage to help us to explain. It's never up to what we think, but up to what is there in the passage. So Leandro turned around and walked away as he felt guilty, that was also in the passage, for taking up the money. He realized that he did not indeed find a good fortune, as the title suggests, because it was not his money to begin with. He also cancelled his training, swimming in the sea, because that was where Mrs. Moreno and the fisherman were having their argument, and he was feeling guilty. So this is a great synopsis of everything that happened. In conclusion, he turned around and he walked away. That was his reaction. And why did he react that way? Because he was feeling guilty. Because there, Mrs. Moreno was accusing the fisherman of being a liar and a thief. We could have also said that, by the way, when in fact it wasn't true. Leandro was the one who had taken up the money. And so he decided to leave the scene because of how guilty he was feeling. He also canceled his training, something that we also have to mention, because that is where he would be, practicing that day. They would see him, and maybe he didn't want to involve himself further into this whole conundrum. Let's go back to the passage for the final time and see where I got that idea from. So this can be found in the last line. Upon hearing this, Leandro feeling guilty, so that's our keyword right there, he turned around and he canceled his training. So this is how he reacted, and we used everything that happened in the passage to explain why he reacted in this way. So, what do you think about this passage? And more importantly, how did you do? Go ahead and leave a comment below of at least one new word that you learned from this passage. On a scale of 1 to 10, how easy was it? Was it 0, very, very easy, or 10, difficult? You can go ahead and let me know below. And I wish you all the best as you continue to prepare for your exam. See you in the next video. That is all for today. Gracias por mirar. Adiós.